Thinking about selling your Toronto property, but it's currently tenanted? This is a common situation that landlords navigate all the time, and trust me, there are some key things you need to know to avoid legal headaches and ensure a smooth sale. In this video, I will walk you through your rights and tenants' rights and the best strategies to sell your property while it's occupied. The first thing you need to know is that tenants in Ontario have strong rights under the Residential Tenancies Act. You can sell a tenanted property, but the lease stays in place, even if the new buyer takes ownership. That means that if the tenant is on a fixed-term lease, they have the right to stay until it expires, and if they are month-to-month, the buyer can choose to assume them as tenants or provide proper notice for vacancy. If the buyer of your property wants the home vacant, you, the seller, need to serve the tenant an N12 notice, which requires at least 60 days notice before the end of the rental period. However, this can only be used if the buyer or their immediate family plans to move in. You cannot evict a tenant just because you want an easier sale or because the buyer wants to find a new tenant. Now, this is important. If the tenant refuses to leave, you may have to go through the Landlord and Tenant Board for a formal eviction process, which can take months, so plan ahead. If you're selling with tenants in place, here's how to make the process smoother. Number 1, give proper notice for showings. You must provide at least 24 hours written notice before any showing. Number 2, work with the tenant. A cooperative tenant can help keep the home clean and presentable. You might even offer a small incentive for their cooperation. And number 3, target investor buyers. Many buyers are actually looking for rental income, so marketing the property as a turnkey investment can attract more interest. If this all sounds a little undesirable and you'd prefer to sell the property vacant so that you can stage, have showings at any time, and not have to worry about the chance that the tenant will fight the eviction, your other potential choice is to organize a cash for keys arrangement and have the tenant sign a mutual release to end the tenancy and move out before you list the property for sale. Essentially, a cash for keys agreement is voluntary, and it is an arrangement between the landlord and their tenant where the tenant agrees to vacate the rental property in exchange for a financial incentive. Ultimately, yes, selling a tenanted property in Toronto does come with some extra steps, but with the right approach, it can be done smoothly and legally. Work with an experienced realtor to guide you through the process and keep everything on track.